Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 42 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I'm Jonathan Lidskin. Sam Fetterman with me as always. This is our final 5 out of 5 of the High Major Preview. Christian, I'm going to say your last name wrong, but I'm going to try it anyway. Ojaxian?
That was actually pretty good. Thank you for
Awesome.
turning that damn song off. It was way too loud in my ears.
Christian's joining us today. We got the ACC preview. Already knocked out the other 4 high major conferences. 18, Sam. 18 high major teams left to discuss.
Well, most of them are high major. Some of them just happen to be in high major conferences.
Yeah, you got that right. Christian, how are you? I don't think you've been with us since February.
Yes.
Baylor BYU.
What a night that was. It's good to see you guys. It was.
Just want to make sure everyone here knows. Go follow us on Twitter at BBBCBB Podcast. Go follow us on our personal Twitters at Sam_Fetterman, at Jonathan Lidskin. That's where you can find most of the content. Make sure to follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Potentially some more content coming out there at BBBCBB Podcast on both of those as well. But most importantly, just make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling so inclined to leave a review, a 5-star variant. Jonathan?
Should we jump right into this? We got 18 teams to discuss. I know Christian's got to be out of here at some point. So why don't we get right to it, Sam?
Let's do it.
We'll be using my rankings today. We used Sam's for the Big 12, Big East, and the Big 10. We used mine for the SEC. My ACC number 1 and favorite pick to win the conference, the Duke Blue Devils. Coming off a Final Four appearance, reloaded the roster. Obviously, the headline names here, Cam Boozer, one of the best freshmen, one of the best players in the entire country. But there's more than just Cam Boozer here. They have a pair of returning sophomores. I should say a trio of returning sophomores, because you would assume Darren Harris factors in here too. But Isaiah Evans and Pat Ngongba are the 2 expected starters out of those 3. Caden Boozer, Caleb Foster running the point guard duties. And then you have a couple other key freshmen, Dame Sarr, international kid coming in. Second straight year that Duke has dipped in to the international talent market. Nick Kamenia, Sebastian Wilkins, both here as well. Malik Brown returns as another piece in the front court. Another deep team for John Shire, Sam. We'll start here.
The thing for Duke that I've noticed the past couple of years, they've gotten better as the year goes on. I think John Shire has done a really good job kind of figuring out who his team is and then playing to that. With last year, it was kind of the adjustment of Sion James growing into a bigger role for that team, kind of becoming more of a scorer, becoming he wasn't the point guard. Kind of Cooper Flagg was kind of the point guard for that team in a lot of ways. But Sion James kind of stepping into that role, and Proctor was as well. I think this year that this Duke team is going to have kind of similar questions with their lineup construction. Are they going to be better with Dame Sarr? Are they going to be better with Nick Kamenia? Are they going to be better with Sebastian Wilkins? Is that going to be something that has to come in? Is Isaiah Evans going to take that jump, or is it going to be Darren Harris? Is it going to be both? Is it going to be neither? How can they deal with it if it is neither? How can they kind of divvy up the minutes in that spot? I think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and Duke's going to have to answer them pretty quickly because they have a really difficult schedule early in the year. They got Texas the first game of the season. They go play Kansas, Arkansas, Florida, Michigan State, Texas Tech, all before they hit conference play. So I think by the time we get to January, Duke's probably going to look a whole lot different than they look on opening night. And I think that's kind of for the best with what we've seen with John Shire. And obviously that all starts with Cam Boozer, who is probably going to come into the year as my national player of the year. Just the strongest freshman, like physically strongest freshman I can think of in a very long time. Legs are tree trunks. Gets wherever he wants on the floor. 40% 3-point shooter each of the last 2 years at Columbus. Winningest player in like AAU and Florida high school basketball history, along with his brother, who's also on this basketball team. Cam Boozer is the X factor of all X factors. He's going to be a superstar from day one.
Christian?
I mean, X factor is an interesting way to put it. I
mean, X factor is just an old word.
I think an X factor for this team is what Gongba brings. Like he's popping up. Some people think he's going to be a lottery pick. I like the way he moves. He's a great passer. I don't know if I saw enough in his 10 minutes a game last year offensively. Like as like a guy that can maybe let post up and go to work there. But I love what Malik Brown gives them. He's just awesome. And I also just think Shire has earned a ton of credit in my mind. Maybe like I want to remove my bias of being like just kind of anti-Coach K, but like I truly think Shire like has done more with the talent that he's had in his first 2 years than what Coach K was doing at the end of his tenure. I believe in Shire to get the most out of this group. And then when you know, if guys like Sarr end up being better than I expect, or if Evans takes his huge leap, like they're definitely the favorites. And I mean, we'll get to Louisville here in a second, but Duke's definitely should be the favorites here.
Yeah, I think the key thing with Pat is he slimmed down a ton. You can see it in just like the videos and pictures that Duke is posting on social media. He's lost a ton of weight, looks in a lot better shape, and looks every part of an ACC starting center with the skills we already know he has. I know the minutes weren't there for him last year, but they increased as the year went up. He was also dealing with injuries at the
in his senior year of high school, he was injured as well.
Yeah, he missed his
basically he hasn't had like a full normal season since his junior year of high school.
Yeah. So Sam, you mentioned it. Like Duke has not been at their best under John Shire in the non-conference. I would expect them to get better as the season goes on again. If they struggle early, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to be super worried. I think by the time conference play rolls around is really when Shire has gotten his groups going and to the best of their ability.
And part of that is the ACC.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But if you go back and watch the way that Duke team played in the Kansas game in Las Vegas, and then the way they played against a much better Alabama team in the Elite Eight, it was just night and day.
I look at Duke and I don't know, as I mentioned, what it's going to look like. If I had to guess, I think Sarr probably ends up kind of being the best option out of the three between Kamania, Wilkins, and Sarr. Kamania will bring some more offensively. I think Sarr is going to bring a little more on the defensive side. Wilkins is kind of the wild card in that equation for me. Can guard, really strong guy as well. And then between Evans and Harris, I mean, obviously Evans has been generating a ton of buzz. Harris, as you mentioned, will probably factor in somewhere. I think Caden Boozer will end up being really good for this team. I'm not as high on him as Jonathan is.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jonathan thinks he's better than Mikel Brown.
I have him as the number one point guard in the class. Mikel Brown, his production seems like it's probably going to be better, but I'm willing to bet that Caden's.
And we're going to talk about Mikel Brown like shortly because there's a lot to talk about there in my eyes. But again, another Duke team where size is like they're going to be huge. They don't have a Kaman Malak at 7'2", but Caden Boozer and Caleb Foster, 6'4", 6'5", as your two smallest guys on the floor.
Yeah, that's kind of just the way that Shire's built the roster now too. He likes having these bigger.
I mean, it's the way that he's able to build the roster. There aren't a lot of programs in the country that can go out there and build a roster like that.
Right.
He's very fortunate to be able to do that, but he's also done it effectively.
Yeah, it's one thing to be able to build a bigger roster with guards that are 6'5", 6'6". It's another to be able to build a roster like that and also not have shooting be a weakness for your team.
I definitely think there's avenue where if Evans and Harris just can't defend and that maybe the shooting starts to become an issue. Boozer Obviously shot 40% each of the last 2 years. I think his true talent is a little bit closer to like, I don't know if he's going to be a 40% shooter in college the way he was in high school. Will probably be very good. But there's a chance he's not quite that. And I do think that shooting like could end up being a concern if the defense from Evans and Harris is that bad. But like, yeah, for a team this big, the shooting will be fine.
Christian, anything else to add before we move on to number 2?
And also like every time like I throw out like a concern, it's like it's coming from a scale of like I'm trying to judge this team on the scale of will they win a national championship or not, because that's what Duke fans want at this point. It's about the national championship.
We'll learn a lot about them when they got a tough non-con. We'll see, what Cam's ready for and what the rest of these guys are ready for. I mean, if you look at odds for player of the year, Cam is top 5. Obviously, it's supposed to be a top 3 pick in the draft. Like, I just want to see it.
Yeah, totally fair. Number 2, Louisville. This has probably been the consensus top 2 in the ACC since the portal really started coming together back in April. This Louisville team is going to be one of the best offensive teams in the country. They're loaded in the backcourt. Mikal Brown is an unbelievable freshman point guard that's already popped off and gotten a ton of buzz. How quick he is.
Preseason all ACC first teamer Mikal Brown.
Yep. What he did
is
over
crazy
the summer.
to me. Like great player, but that's a little rich for my blood.
What he did in FIBA over the summer was obviously super impressive. And then you add the experienced players in the backcourt. Ryan Conwell, Isaac McNeely, Adrian Woolley, all big-time shooters and big-time scorers at that for different programs last year. They all come together to make up a backcourt in the ACC that's going to be tough to guard. Javon Hadley returns, as I feel like he's kind of the forgotten piece for this team. Not like a super flashy offensive player, but will guard multiple positions on the wing, a player that everyone would like to have. Kayshawn Pryor is kind of your stretch big. And then really the question that I have with Louisville and what probably separates them between like being a national championship contender or not is the defense. How well is this team going to guard? I don't really see them as having an elite rim protector. I think Andrew Fruit does some things well defensively. I don't think rim protection is one of them. We know Khalifa does his stuff on offense with dribble handoffs and the way he could pass, but defensively, he's not really there. So, you have a couple decent defenders here, but it's just how high can they elevate that defense and how many times can they outscore teams?
I've noticed like Brown getting his flowers, Conwell getting his flowers a lot. The guard that I think is kind of getting like thrown down and like that a lot of people are projecting to not start and to not that are forgetting about really is Woolley. And Woolley was the only one of those guards who was an excellent rim finisher over the last few years. Guy was 42% on pull-up threes and 61% at the rim. And on the volume that he did that on for both of those, I don't know how many other guys in the country can say that. I know that it was at Kennesaw State versus McNeely doing his stuff at Virginia, Conwell doing his stuff at Xavier. But I would caution anyone who's kind of overlooking Adrian Woolley as a key piece for this group. I think he's as talented of a scorer as anyone else on this roster.
Christian, my question that I want to ask you is, obviously we know the talent on this team is here. Do we think there could be a situation where there's maybe too many mouths to feed here?
Pat Kelsey likes to play a ton of guys that's what he did at Chelsea and Winthrop. So it'll be fun to see. Like, you got to have Brown and Conwell and McNeely on the floor a ton. But like, I think with Woolley, it's like, let him play that 18, 20 minutes, be a spark. Maybe it's down to 10. Sometimes maybe it's up to 25. Like, Brown, Conwell, and McNeely are all gone after this year. So Woolley, I think, is going to embrace this, like, I'm a spark plug on this really good team, and maybe it can be my team next year. But, like, Conwell's so good. Like, he's so fun to watch. McNeely, listen to this stat. I don't know if you guys are listening. You're both looking down. But
yeah,
McNeely took 6 transition threes last year. He's going to take 6 transition threes in the first half of the first game. I just think they're going to absolutely light it up. In terms of there being too many mouths to feed, like I think Pryor, like coming off this injury, he might not be himself, like the guy that they thought they're getting in. I love me some Ali Khalifa, but like he'll give you 12 to 15 minutes. Like Kenai Roos is exciting, but like you don't need more than 10 to 15 minutes. Like because the team, and then Hadley's played 33 minutes game last year, and like he's a great glue guy.
He has a place on this team.
What'd you say?
He has a place on this team.
Oh, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, because the top four are so that 1 through 4 starting is so good, like I don't know. I think it's more just like a strength that there's so many guys. I don't think it's like there's a confusion of the pecking order in the sense that it's like too many mouths to feed.
I agree. I think that's kind of what Pat Kelsey does.
Right.
We saw it. He's always played. He's always played fast. He's always played a deep rotation. Like I felt last year, like they didn't play like as fast as Pat Kelsey is used to playing last year, and that's like they still played very fast because they lost guys. They lost Keshawn Pryor. They lost. Obviously, they didn't have Khalifa. They lost Traore for part of the year. Corin Johnson was out. Rain Smith missed some games late in the year. So they didn't have the bodies to play as fast. Now they have the bodies. And the bodies just kind of throw pressure at you, throw speed, throw transition threes, as Christian mentioned. This is going to be an electric team to watch.
Yeah, I think that I've said probably all I've wanted to about this team. This is going to be, Bill Simmons does the like league pass teams, which is in theory most watchable teams. This is one of the most watchable teams in the entire country.
The reverse Oklahoma State.
They will be must see TV every time they play.
The reverse Oklahoma State. I'm gonna get my Mike Boynton digs in. I know that Les is there, but like this is a beef that goes back to the Boynton days.
Yeah, it really is. All right, number 3, Christian. I'm going to start with you for this one. NC State comes in at number 3 for me. This is another team that's been getting a lot of offseason buzz because of who they had on the roster, but also who they brought in to coach the team. Will Wade, after spending some time at McNeese State, comes in to coach the Wolfpack to get them back to the glory days. The triangle might be back. It might fully be back with basketball. The roster
sure as hell not back with football.
Yeah, the roster's, it's good. There's obviously more questions than I think the top 2, but there's certainly talent here. Darian Williams, one of the best players in the conference, no doubt. Paul McNeil, a lot of people are expecting a breakout from him. Trey Holloman, Quadir Copeland, both veteran senior point guards. Terrence Arsenault obviously came from a Houston system that plays great defense. Van Allen Lubin, there's been a lot of offseason discussion from that program around him. There was been a lot of offseason discussion comments towards the Tar Heels about him. So, Christian, I'll start with you here. Give me your thoughts on the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have them at 3 as well. Williams, well-deserved. You could have given it to Boozer, I guess, but Williams earned it from just seniority. I think Will Wade has everything he needs. The one concern was maybe just like too much pressure on Van Allen Lubin at the 5 to just defend bigger guys, but then you bring in this giant dude from Gambia, and then hopefully you get something out of Abube from Wyoming. But the name that I keep hearing pop up is Matt Abel. Like Matt Abel could be like one and done level good.
Agreed.
So I'm really excited to see what he can do. And if him and McNeil, right, honestly, when I saw this roster first, I'm like, there's not enough shooting. Like, it's going to be too hard for Darian Williams because I'm just looking at names like Holloman and Copeland and Breed. But it's like, Copeland's best in like a bench spark plug role anyway, as you Fetterman from Syracuse. Like, I remember when Kyle Cuffey was playing over him, I'm like, what the hell are we doing over there? Because
I haven't heard that name in a long time, and I could go a long time without hearing.
But then you just get 3 guys who were in the Elite 8 last year, in this starting 5. And if Abel and McNeil are snipers and you just have Will Wade coaching it, like, it's going to be so fun. And like Williams was ridiculously good in the tournament. And I think Texas Tech, like, you had great creative point guards there. You had an all Big 12 post player next to him. So it's like, there's maybe a little bit concerned that if Darian is a clear number 1, but I think there's enough going on around him talent wise that like, he's not this clear number one. He is in the sense that he's the leader of the team, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like there's this giant talent gap between him and like, you know, the rest of these guys. So I think it's a great fit, and they seem to have like really good chemistry. All right, the vibes are good. I'm just kind of drinking the Kool-Aid with Will Wade.
Well, yeah, you kind of mentioned it, but the thing that I look at, Will Wade is all about culture. All the Shaka guys are. Wade is a Shaka guy. And look at where this team's, who's probably going to be this team's three most impactful players. Darian Williams, Terrence Arsenault, and Trey Holloman. Darian Williams played for Grant McCasland at Texas Tech. Terrence Arsenault played for Kelvin Sampson at Houston. Trey Holloman played for Tom Izzo at Michigan State. All three of those guys played for winning programs that instill winning habits. Quadir Copeland and Alan Breed were at McNeese last year, which was another winning program. I think that's a huge key for Will Wade. It's bringing in guys that have won, bringing in guys that understand what it takes to win in college basketball, because they're changing the culture. And I think Williams obviously completely changed the ceiling for this team. That winning that recruiting battle over Kansas for Darian Williams was this is happening, and it's happening now moment.
Right? Real quick, I would have been so pissed if he went to Kansas, because remember when he put 30 on them and didn't miss a shot? Like, it just felt wrong. And McCullough already did that same job. I'm happy he went to a different conference.
Yeah, definitely a little concerned about Lubin kind of having to be the guy down low. We kind of like a lot of like weird the buzz coming out of Lubin and NC State about their big situation, like considering Lubin was the second big for a team that like had terrible bigs last year, is like, okay, interesting. I like, but yeah, I still think NC State's going to be really good. They're going to be really tough. And McNeil and Abel are the swing pieces, the guys that are going to make this team really go if they hit their ceiling.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on Abel. I think this is one of the best shooters in the class, and I think he's more than just a shooter as well. I'm really high on this kid. Wouldn't surprise me if, midway through the season they insert him into the starting lineup. It wouldn't totally surprise me if he was starting.
He could start
at the start of the year, and they wanted to use Arsenault as like a spark plug off the bench, same way they're using Copeland.
No, I think it could be McNeil off the bench, honestly.
I think depth is probably a concern here.
Agreed.
But again, like I think Wade's probably comfortable playing 7 or 8 mainly, especially later into the season. This is a Will Wade team. They're long, they're athletic. We know they're going to defend. Defense should be the strength of this team. If McNeil breaks out and you have him plus Williams plus maybe Abel surprises a lot of people as well, like that's probably what you need scoring wise, especially with Holloman as your point guard, a really good setup man. I think this team's got a chance to be really good if they can stay healthy. You can say that about a lot of teams, but man, it felt like Will Wade came in, knew exactly what he was looking for, and they were able to execute it. Anything else, guys?
No, I'm good.
All right, number 4. This is probably the first surprise on here. Clemson. They lost a lot. Christian's giving me the face. They lost a lot. I think Dylan Hunter is just fantastic. Like one of the best point guards, or guards, whatever you consider him, in the conference. Nick Davidson, Carter Welling, I think is a perfect replacement for what they were doing last year with the high-low. Do you have Jake Whalen and RJ Godfrey back as well? Whalen in, Godfrey back, I should say, as well. Justin Porter, that's probably where my biggest question is. Does he translate? Smaller guard. He probably plays the point guard for this group, and you play Hunter more off the ball. Dylan's not the same player as Chase.
I think you can kind of hybrid Hunter on and off. He's combo.
Sure. But after the tournament last year, Sam, you and I have talked about this many times. It left a really sour taste in my mouth about Brad Brownell, but I think this is a well-constructed roster. If they take a step back and I'm wrong, wouldn't be surprised at all. But I think this is around a borderline top 30 team and an NCAA tournament team again. Christian, you could start here. I know you are going to push back.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the optimism. I just have too many questions about the backcourt. Like, I want to see what Justin Porter at 6'1" coming over from Conference USA does as how good he can be. And then I like Hunter, but he, had a lot around him of just familiarity, his brother, is he ready to be the one key piece returning? Like, just a lot on his shoulders. Like, I think Brownells are in the benefit of this is your longest tenured coach in the conference at this point, and like they have a good thing going right now. It goes, they'll go as much as the front court takes them. Like, how good can Davidson and Welling be in this league? I like RJ Godfrey a lot. It's good to have him back. And then, whether it's one of these redshirt freshmen, Dallas Thomas or Ace Buckner, like can someone else enter the mix? I don't know. Maybe it's just like, it's just not sexy enough to me to like get excited about a top 4 finish, but I think they'll probably make the tournament.
I agree it's not sexy. But when has Clemson basketball ever been sexy?
Never, but like I don't know. PJ Hall was a little sexy. Jay Sunder
was his game sexy or was it effective?
Effective enough that it was sexy. Like, is Nick Davidson going to be?
I'm like one of the world's biggest Nick Davidson fans. Between Davidson and Welling, I think I would be surprised if one of them doesn't make an All ACC team. I don't know which one it's going to be. I think Jake Wallin as kind of a third big, kind of can play 4 or 5. Was a great addition. RJ Godfrey as another. Like, this is one of the deeper front courts in the conference, and not just in the conference, but kind of in all of high major ball. You've got 4 dudes, like, could be legit dudes at other spots. Davidson and Welling, Jonathan, you mentioned it as 2 guys that can really that play really smart basketball, can rebound, can defend, but can also play out of the high-low actions, and I think that's going to be big for Clemson. Definitely not like quite as sold on Dylan Hunter as Jonathan, but not as skeptical as Christian, kind of somewhere in the middle. I like Justin Porter. Like, I do like his game. I think he's dynamic. I do think he's going to have a learning curve, but I think he's got some juice to him.
Yeah. I think I said my piece here. The high-low actions with Welling and Davidson, I think, rotate whoever you want in of these 4. I think I like it. I think they did a really good job replacing what they lost. Like, obviously, like last year they had a lot of good players. Chase Hunter was really good. Shefflin was really good. I mean, they were excellent last year, and the way the season ended obviously wasn't ideal for them. And I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. But I can see this becoming a Brownell figured out the system. He figured out what he wants. He figured out what he's looking for in players. And I do think that, like, Dylan Hunter not being out there for the NCAA tournament last year hurt them.
Oh, for sure. 100% did.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to number 5. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about the North Carolina Tar Heels here. Number 5 feels weird. Like, it just feels weird ranking a team like UNC, like a program like UNC, as low as 5 in an ACC that has been down basically since
ACC's up this year though.
Since COVID, I think it's improving tremendously this year, but it's still down relative to like pre-COVID. When,
obviously,
when they were rolling out 3-1 seeds in a tournament. But, like, where do we start here for UNC, Sam? Because, like there's so many questions here. Like, they need breakouts. They need certain guys to hit. Like, I do like the addition of Henry Vasar from Arizona. He was tremendous for them all of last season. But, like, this could be another roster that just doesn't fit. This could be Hubert Davis's last year. Does Kyan Evans transfer over well? Do they hit on Ogavac? Like,
I don't know how you get to
start me off here. Get us going.
I think it's a good team. I don't know how you get to $14 million with this roster, but like, it's a good group. Like, Vesar is awesome. Will be one of the best players in this conference. Like, can throw it down, can move. I thought he was so good at Arizona last year. Like, just when Krivas went out, I had like no doubt that Vesar was going to kind of usurp that production and just be the guy. And he turned into that guy. And it kind of made me feel worse about Krivas than I should have coming into this year. Jonathan had to kind of re-talk me into Krivas because Vesar was so good. If you listen to what UNC fans think, you're getting a different view of Caleb Wilson than what Jonathan and I and a bunch of others see. I think he's a good player. I think he'll definitely be impactful, but like he's the piece. Like if you're buying into North Carolina, you are buying into Caleb Wilson and Luka Bogovac, both being more than just like both immediately coming in and being like really good. Wilson coming in, shoring up the defense, being switchable, being a type of guy that can kind of get himself a bucket. Bogovac kind of being a little bit more than just a shooter and helping on the defensive end. That's kind of what you're buying in on if you're buying in on UNC. And if you're in on that, you're probably in on UNC as a top 20 team. Even without like a true point guard, because Kyan Evans is kind of an off guard more than just a true point. I think Seth Trimble. Okay. I like Seth Trimble. If he's this team's leading scorer, they're hitting their floor. But that's not I don't think their floor is that low.
I think I agree.
Their floor is not low. I think they're going to make the tournament.
I think it's higher than last year, just because
without a doubt,
I expect their defense to be a lot better.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of toughness in this front court that they just didn't have at all last year.
So
you listen to the way that Jaren Stevenson can kind of impact the game. It can be loud.
So
he's going to be a good piece.
I understand that, like, my take on Caleb Wilson is probably somewhat slanted towards what I think of Hubert Davis.
Yeah, and I'm a little higher on Wilson than Jonathan.
Like, the tools are so clearly there. He's a great athlete. He's going to be a menace defensively. I think offensively he could struggle. I will say this: Caleb Wilson will be drafted a year from now, or whenever you consider the next draft to be. After this season, Caleb Wilson will be drafted. This will be his only year in college basketball. However, and you can take this however you want, I think Caleb Wilson will be viewed as a worse prospect after this season than he is right now. And you can attribute that to Hubert Davis. You can attribute that to what I think of him as a player. I think his offense is probably worse than he's being given credit for. They probably paid a lot of money to get him. Huh? I can't hear you.
You're muted.
So anyway, while Sam's fixing that, I think he has the potential to be one of the best defenders in the ACC. He'll certainly be an impactful player. But I think there's certainly a path where he ends up being what Drake Powell was last year.
I do think Wilson is like pretty skilled for his size. I wouldn't like go as far.
I don't think his shot selection's great.
Yeah, like that. Like my concerns with him are like, is there enough in terms of like understanding when and how to make it all work? The skills are there. It can be like offensively, it can look really, really good. It could also look rough at times. I think he's raw but skilled. If that like kind of, I know that's kind of like a oxymoron, but if you watch Caleb Wilson, you kind of get it.
Jonathan, I feel the same way of you as like, well, you both said things that stood out. One, I think this team is as good as Wilson and Bogovic are. Like, they're kind of mystery boxes to me. Like, what are they in college? And like Wilson, my brain, and I think it's fair, is totally attached to what just happened with Drake Powell and Ian Jackson. You bring in these super talented freshmen. One of them just got picked 22nd. The other one has all this hype going to St. John's. And like, what did you get out of them? Like, really, what did you get out of them? What translated to winning? Like, it was just kind of this constant dialogue of like, can these guys play more? Like, do they fit? Like, it just wasn't good vibes. And like, you clear out, you shove out all this money to bring in new guys. And like, I just don't know. And like, even with Visar was great for Arizona last year, but like, how do I know he's coming in? It's not like a Pete Nance situation. Pete Nance comes in and was way worse at Carolina than he was at Northwestern. Like, he shot 46% for three, shot like 31% at Carolina, and like Seth Trimble
Arizona was like really, really good. Northwestern wasn't the level of
no, I know, but I'm just saying that was Visar like. I'm just talking about the team environment changing. Like, Pete Nance was great in Northwestern, playing for a bad team. Visar was great as a role player on a really good team, and like he's coming in as like one of the prized portal pieces. Like, I don't know if you can just copy and paste that production from Arizona or expect it to increase. As good of a player as I think he is. And then Seth Trimble was filthy in non-con and then just like wasn't the same player anymore. I leave the light on for him because I feel like we've seen flashes of him. And like then Kyan Evans was great in Colorado State with Nico and Nick Clifford. Like it was a great system for him to be like this undersized off guard. And like you're paying him all this money to be a point guard. Maybe is Seth Trimble your point guard? Does it not matter who your point guard is because you got all these guys who are pick and roll? Like, I just don't know. Like, I like Jaren Stevenson off the bench. I like Jonathan Powell, but like, I just don't know if the starting five meshes. Like, I just think it's like an on paper fantasy team. And like Hubert Davis hasn't given me the confidence that it's going to work. Obviously, there's a super high ceiling if it does work. Like, this team could be a top 10 team. I just don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to hit their ceiling.
I don't think the ceiling is top 10. Like, I think it's like top 15.
Is that big a difference, Sam?
Yeah. I mean, they like they're 2 years removed from getting a 1 seed. So, like, we do have to give Hubert Davis some credit for that. I don't think that happened on accident. So there is some obvious upside with this team. It's just, if they're going to rely on like, shooting variants to be able to like hit their ceiling, like I don't think that's a really great strategy.
But didn't they have 2 All-Americans on that team? Armando Bacot and RJ Davis?
Yeah.
Who had made a championship game 2 years before? Like that team, like it's a very different situation. So like, I don't know. Those weren't even Hubert's players still.
Yeah.
I give him credit, but that's just where I'm at with you.
Tanner making how much money to put together this roster?
That was that was supposed to be a big deal when they hired him last February.
How much of a bonus does he get if they make the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, the standards there are just insane. Like, bonuses for making the NCAA tournament?
You're North Carolina.
Coach K made the tournament how many straight years? Roy Williams made it how many straight years?
All right, let's move on.
All right, number 6, Virginia. International flavor here. Sam, I know you like this team, so I'm going to let you start with them in just a second. To go over the roster real quick, a lot of new pieces on this team with a new coach in Ryan Odom. Tice the Ritter, Johan Grunlow. Those are the international guys you need to know. Both front court players. Grunlow's the 7-footer. The Ritter is probably the more skilled of the two. Sam, I'll let you elaborate on him in a second. Malik Thomas, definitely an all-conference guy. Elite scorer coming over from San Francisco. And then in the backcourt with him, Dallin Hall coming over from BYU. Jakari White was at North Alabama, right, Sam?
Jakari White?
Or was he at North Dakota State?
North Dakota State.
Okay, I mix up him and
You're
Jakari
getting him
White.
with the one at Texas A&M, yeah.
Yeah, I mix up those two. But you add those two. I'm quite high on Chance Mallory, small freshman that'll play point guard off the bench for this team. Devin Tillis, I'll let Sam expand on. This team's deep. Sam, take the wheel here.
I mean, if you told me Devin Tillis and Ugana Onyenso was your starting front court in the ACC, I'd say that's a good ACC starting front court. That's their backup front court. The Ritter, to me, is just one of the best international prospects in the country. One of the 4 or 5, probably. We'll get to another one that I'm even more smitten with shortly. But just the Ritter, he can kind of fill in any gap that you need him to. Versatile, athletic, really strong, can put the ball on the floor, but a really smart passer from like certain positions. You can kind of run offense through him, maybe not with him, maybe not running offense through him as the point guard, but running offense through him as like a hub. I think he can be that. He can definitely score on multiple in multiple ways. has a really strong outside shot at that size, gets to the rim, gets his way, has been playing with grown men for the last few years at the highest level in Spain and doing it well. I think he's going to come in and find find that the ACC is a lot easier than the basketball he's been playing the last few years.
Jakari White's a bucket.
Oh, he's a bucket. Malik Thomas, also a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And watch out for. Did you guys say anything about Sam Lewis?
Also a bucket.
Yeah,
Sam Lewis is
also
nice.
a good player. Yeah,
I like Sam Lewis a
Chicago
lot.
native.
And Chance Mallory looks.
Chance Mallory's a
pretty
bucket.
So I mean,
imagine how good do you have to be at like 5 foot nothing, at like my height, to be a top 100 prospect? Because all these prospects, all these recruiting sites ever talk about is NBA potential, and none of the guys that are 5'10" are going to play in the NBA unless they're like unbelievably good.
He's one of. I tweeted this out a month ago. He's one of 4 players in the top 100 under 6 feet. Nigel James at Marquette, Jalen Reese LSU, and Keyshawn Tillery at Cincinnati. And what I thought was interesting is in the last 2 recruiting classes, only 2 players in the top 100 were under 6 feet. And guess who they were? Josh Hubbard and Todd Pettiford.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's you got to be nice.
I didn't realize Josh Hubbard was top 100.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know where he was at, but
I think Jonathan had him in Jonathan and we had him in like.
Dude, I had him like 20th.
Respect. Where's he from?
That would probably be my best.
Did you watch him play in person, or you just like just from scouting? You were just like
turned on the film and texted Sam, and then he scored like 21 in their first overseas scrimmage. And Rothstein tweeted about it, and I texted Sam right away, like, happiest I've ever been. That is probably.
I think that's your peak.
That's probably my best scout to this day, and will probably be my best scout the rest of my life. I mean, I had him like 100 spots higher than consensus. Although, Sam, I do have a certain guy in 2026 really high that we'll talk about down the line. But yeah, like I think, Sam, what I said the other night is like, I have no problem with taking guys that are under 6 feet at high majors. You just have to understand that they're probably not going to ever be high upside elite defenders.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think this backcourt is good defensively, like just in general. Like,
I don't even know if Mallory is going to be a minus defender, but I mean, he's just so electric with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I think this backcourt is going to be bad defensively, but Grunlow on Yenso, Tillis, and DeRitter. As the defensive front court is excellent.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else.
And also just a little more on Grunlow.
Yeah, go for it.
He's like, this is the type of rim protector that they need for this type of team. He's physical. He kind of bashes a little bit. Has also played at a high level professionally. So I think he's going to fit in really well. I love this front court. I think Ryan Odom did a really, really good job building his first team. I have them higher than 6th. Do I have them 3rd or 4th? I don't know if I have them above NC State or below, but it's like right there with them.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Sam, where are we entering?
Oh God.
The Enfield zone. SMU at number 7. Like,
I have no interest in talking about this team.
I want to be optimistic about this team. I really, really do. I promise you, like, I look at the talent here and I look at the roster they put together, and this roster is good. But Andy Enfield's going to find his way between 40 and 55 in KenPom, and they'll be on the bubble, and that'll be that. So, I like to give some actual analysis here.
Is there any to give?
Jaron Pierre can flat out score. Like, great addition.
Yeah,
great addition.
Maybe a little bit of like, there's only one ball between him and Boopy.
Yeah, definitely. The freshman I like here is Jaden Toombs. I think he's super underrated. Just a guy who's huge frame, long wingspan, pushes people around, is a great rebounder, can clean up on the offensive end inside. I think he could have the potential to be a pro as soon as next year.
I'm getting the uncontrollable urge to mention Cal Poly basketball for no reason other than I felt like it.
All right, Christian, you go here, so Sam stops talking.
Mike DeGeorge.
I don't know how I feel about SMU. I think people are a little higher on them than I am. I like Boopy. I think people are just like expecting a bump because he's a senior and like Edwards is good. Like they're good, and I think they.
Oh my God!
What was their thing last year? SMU.
The thing Auburn just did, Jonathan.
What
did they lose?
Auburn just did something stupid.
Go on, Christian.
SMU last year, what did they do? They beat every bad team and they lost to every good team. Like it was actually clockwork. And I don't think that's and then you're losing Cross and Chuck Harris and you're bringing in, like, I think Jaron Pierre is really good. I like Walters. I think he's fine, but like, are you starting him? And then these freshmen I'm intrigued by. Seems like a good freshman class, but like, I just don't know a ton about them or what to expect. But like, if a couple of these freshmen hit, like, I think there's a decent floor. Like, they'll be in the bubble mix at worst. I don't really see the ceiling outcome with them, like, unless like Jaron Pierre is their best player, which like he honestly could be. I don't know if that's a crazy thing to say, but like I just don't love it.
I think Pierre probably is their best player.
I like that better than Boopy being their best player.
Oh, Boopy was not the one I was considering.
Good. No, but I'm saying like Boopy Miller was second team all ACC. They just voted. Boopy Miller was second team all ACC preseason, and I'm looking at that and I'm like, pump the brakes. Like
I get it because he's been in the ACC for a couple of years now. He's a familiar name. People don't know Jaron Pierre in the ACC.
Right.
Pierre's got to be better. I think Semet probably should be better.
Yeah. But like, I think that was honestly something that stuck with me. Like seeing Boopy Miller second team all ACC, I'm like, you think SMU is good because this? You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I thought SMU was popping up as like a 6th, 7th best team. I have them more at around 8 or 9, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the ACC, once you get past some of the teams, I think I have them around the same spot. Yeah.
What are we talking about? I got 3 teams that I like that we haven't talked about.
I have SMU 9th.
I got 4 teams that honestly I think are better than SMU and potentially.
All right, let's get
Clemson.
I
don't know,
Jonathan.
Let's see where we go.
Virginia Tech.
Let's talk about the Greek.
Is this one of these?
Virginia Tech? Yeah, I think Virginia Tech is in the exact same tier as SMU, but I just like Virginia Tech vibe better.
Well, yeah. Virginia Tech has a definitive NBA player on the roster.
They have the Greek Freak.
They have the Greek Freak.
In Neoclis Abdalas. Sam, talk about him. You know his game better than I.
Every time I watch the Greek Freak, I can't stop thinking about how good he's going to be this year for Virginia Tech. It's like he's 6'8". He can play the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. And like if they absolutely need him to, I'm sure he could play the 5. He's gonna handle the ball, operate ball screens. Like at the draft combine, we saw him kind of playing off the wings, slashing, shooting. In Europe, he's been able to handle the ball. This was a team that Mike Young, like in the beginning of the offseason, it was clear like they were backing Mike Young and saying, all right, we're going to give you what it takes to win monetarily. And I think this roster much better reflects that. With the Greek Freak being the number one reason for that, just as a guy who will come into the league and probably be one of the best players in the conference from the get-go. I think he's the best international prospect in college basketball entering the sport. And the fact that he's at Virginia Tech is like that's kind of what this gave. He would not have expected a guy of his caliber to end up at this program, but they needed it. He can shoot, he can defend, he can pass. think he could average 16.5, 6.5, and 4.5 on like solid efficiency. And this team's going to be like big in the backcourt too. Like if he's like their one, Isaiah Pasha can kind of play up to 6'5". Jaden Shoot is not small. He had a solid year for them as well. Jalen Bedford isn't tiny either. They're going to be a little small on the front court, but they have their pogo stick in Toby Lawal. They have their ground bound guy in Amani Hansberry. I think that they definitely have a more complete roster, more just talent level, night and day from last year. And I didn't even mention Ben Hammond, who I think can really play.
I think everything I've seen and heard about the Greek Freak is that he's good enough that they can't be bad. Like they could be really good, yeah. But he's just every offensive possession with him having the ball and being on the court, just with Mike Young, who's a very good offensive coach. Virginia Tech, remember what Toby Law said last year when they got lost? He's like, we was ass. We was ass. He looked at that roster.
We wasn't as bad as they said we were going to be.
Right, and you know what translation? You know what he said by that? Was that roster, I thought those could have been the worst team in the league when I saw the roster. And then you watch them, and because they were well coached by Mike Young, I feel like they squeezed everything out and were as frisky as they possibly could have been. And considering how bad they were, that's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Toby Lawal,
they were a
mess. Leading scorer.
Talent-wise. Yeah. But guess what?
Toby Lawal should be the fourth leading scorer on a good team.
And he probably will be. And I like Amani Hansberry. I thought he was awesome last year for West Virginia. Jaden Shoot, let's not forget this is a guy that went to Duke and was pretty, hyped up to be there. I think he can shoot better than 36%.
He was an elite shooter in high school. Something happened with his shot. I don't know.
Same with, guess what? Guess who I'm connecting him to? Another guy who went from a school in Raleigh, or I'm sorry, Durham, whatever. Tyler Nickel, who Tyler Nickel found it after he kind of lost it.
Tyler Nickel comp we've had in the last 2 days.
But I don't know. I just think I think Posh is really good. And sleeper Christian Gerdak, 4-star big man. But Mike Young likes a big man who can move his feet a little bit. It's not going to be pretty, but he can get you some posts.
I don't think
he
can
get you some buckets in the post.
I'm sorry. I watched him play. I watched some of it. I watched some Gonzaga games last year. Some Paul VI Gonzaga film. Some of the
sleeper
WCAC stuff from last year. No, not in.
Anyways, I think Abdallas and Mike Young together is just enough to be.
I'm fairly certain. I'm willing to hear just about every opinion in preseason, including this one. I'm not nearly as high on Christian Gerdak as you are, Christian.
I'm not flag planting. I'm not willing to stake my reputation.
I am flag planting.
I'm just saying he's
very good this year.
I think he can come in and give you some.
Maybe down the road he turns into something.
Think of a light.
Getting paid to do this. I am not getting paid to scout high school kids.
I think he's got intrigue. I think he's got good touch around the rim. I think he might be a year or two away.
His game is so sloppy.
All right.
I'm sorry. We just spent way too long talking about Christian Gerdak. That was more airtime than I was assuming Gerdak would get all season.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god. All right. We need to move on here. Let's go to number 9, Miami. Depth is a concern right off the bat for this team, and I think everyone can acknowledge that. However, I think that there is a path to this team being good. Don't know how good, but I think this could be a good defense. Trey Donaldson, True Washington, guys in the backcourt.
This will be a good defense.
We'll get after you. They'll get after you. Shelton Henderson is known for his defense. That's what he is as a prospect. Malik Renew, willing to bet however much money you want that he leads this team in scoring, because he's going to have to if they want to be a surface level offense.
I think Donaldson will score.
Yeah, I think he will as well. Like, somebody else
Renew
has to
probably
take shots.
averages like 15, Donaldson like 13.
I really like Dante Allen. I thought that was a great pickup after he decommitted from Nova. I think he'll play a really important piece on this team. Outside of him, though, like Marcus Allen, I wasn't a huge fan of him at Mizzou last year. Timotei Malavec is probably going to play for them. Sam, you start with this one. I feel like you have some more opinions on the Canes.
I mean, what was Jay Lucas's role at Duke?
He was the defensive coordinator.
He was the defensive coordinator. What is this backcourt gonna bring? Just an unrelenting pressure, and they've got hands. They've got active hands. They can really bother you. They've got some size down low. Uday's going to be a good shot blocker. Renew's not going to be much defensively. I know that, but I think this is going to be a frustrating team to play against if they can find minutes to steal. They're going to need to. Miami's going to need to steal a lot of minutes over the course of the year with some of their bench guys because their bench is not good. Their depth is not good. And if they're going to play with the level of intensity that they need to play with to kind of be as good as they are talent-wise defensively, they're going to need to get some good minutes from Allen and Malavec to kind of relieve the load. But I think they can. I think they can. They'll grind out some games like 63-58. It's not going to be like glamorous Miami ball like what we were seeing. It's not going to be pretty. Miami basketball, their best teams have been pretty. The 2013 team, shout out Shane Larkin and Kenny Kaji. That was a pretty basketball team. That was one of the prettiest basketball teams I remember from my childhood. Every game, it felt like they were throwing lobs. The team a couple of years ago with McGusty and Wong, and they made the Elite Eight. They were pretty. They had a lot of guards. Team 2 years ago that made the Final Four. They were pretty. This team's not going to be pretty. They'll be great.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a bar.
I agree with that assessment. One thing with them is actually, I'm going to say this first. I like Malik Reneau a lot. It's kind of frustrating that he's not surrounded by shooting, but he was a guy that whenever I'd watch Indiana, I'm like, y'all doing too much. Get it to Malik Reneau. He's really good. Get on the rock. I like the idea of this being a defensive-minded, slow-paced team. I think they could be really sucked to play against. A couple concerns are one, Ernest Uday, I feel always misses games this season. If he doesn't play, it could be rough on the interior defensively. They need there's just not margin for error. Those guys are just going to play heavy minutes that top five. So hopefully Dante Allen gives you something. And then I think Malavec, the Slovakian guy, he's a sniper. I think if he could give them a lift, that would be nice. But I believe in Lucas. I like Reneau a lot. And if you get, a breakout from Henderson or Dante Allen or Malavec, could be fun.
Anything else?
I'm good. I'm ready to move on.
Let's go to Notre Dame here. The Irish, Sam, you and I were huge Micah Shrewsbury guys at Penn State. I was actually a huge fan of his when he got the Penn State job. I think he's a great X's and O's coach. But so far at Notre Dame, things have not clicked his way. They bring back a nice core. Marcus Burton and Braden Shrewsbury are now both juniors. Tabajai is a senior now. Then there's the younger pieces. And I think this is where, if this team is going to be good, these are the guys that have to pop. Jalen Harrelson, Sir Muhammad, Ryder Frost, maybe even a Cole Serta or Garrett Sundra.
Sundra.
We know what you're getting out of Burton. He's going to score a bunch. We know Shrewsbury's going to hit shots. But what are you going to get outside of that? And how good is your defense going to be? Christian, you can start here.
I previewed Notre Dame last week, and one thing that Jack Sobel, who I had on my show, said was they really don't want Marcus Burton.
Oh, you had Sobel on your show?
Yeah, you know him?
Yeah, you went to Mizzou.
Oh, let's go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was great, and he told me one thing that was really the key was they don't want Marcus Burton to be one of the highest usage players in the country anymore. Like they just don't want to put that much on his plate. And I think adding a connector like Harrelson and just being healthy, like, will be huge for that. He told me Garrett Sunder's a name to watch as a potential breakout. You know, there's a lot of, I don't know. I'm optimistic like you guys. Like I'm a Shrewsbury guy. Like, remember they competed hard with like Houston. I think it was Creighton, like in that in the Vegas tournament last year. And that was like down guys. When they had a Locko, Burton, and Shrewsbury, like they were like much better offensively. I think the defense is going to be much more like it was when they were very frisky at the end. Remember they had an awful start to the 10, and then they were like very frisky the rest of the season. Like it's not Marquette level commitment to anti-portal. I know it's more so because like football has all the money and there's like the academic concerns with like bringing people in, but like I like the way he's building and I believe in him and I believe in Burton. I think there's this is definitely, I wonder what kind of jump is in store for them, but like, this is a team that I'm like kind of a little attached. Like I want Notre Dame to do well. I've never been like a Notre Dame guy per se, but like I like Burton a lot. I like the way Shrewsbury's trying to build this. And like if Harrelson ends up being really good, or you just end up like having like a nice depth, like if you're able to use 10 of these guys, like that could be good. I know they won. I think it was Nick Davidson that they didn't get. That could have been fun if they had him.
For me, Harrelson, Muhammad need to hit. I've heard a lot of good things this offseason about Ryder Frost. Just seems like he's going to come in and hit a ton of shots.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury, Burton, we know what they are. They need the defensive jolt from the young guys.
Yeah. And I think like, you know, the most athletic players on this team are probably Harrelson and Sir Muhammad.
Agreed.
So like, you know, in addition to those guys like having offensive juice, I think that like that's where your defense comes from. Like you have good point of attack wing defenders. So let's move to number 11 here. Sorry, I clicked off the banners for some reason. Florida State. I've seen a lot of.
Come on!
I've seen a lot of people take this team to like.
No.
Thank you, Jonathan.
No.
What are we doing?
You are not talking about Florida State before Wake Forest and about Syracuse. Are we for real?
What, Sam?
I like it. I like Florida State.
Yeah,
I don't understand where all this disrespect has come from. Like someone on the 3-man weave was like, "This is the worst talent in the league."
Over
what
Wake?
are you talking about?
I have no problem if you put Wake over them. But where I have a problem is like there are people that think this is going to be the worst team in the league, and I don't see it at all.
Like,
no.
Oh, the defense.
That's cap.
I'm hearing like the defense can't like has no chance. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Somerville, McRae, not good defenders. Cole McGee comes from a program where they're grinding. Lajay Jones is really athletic. Chauncey Wiggins and Alex Steen, like those dudes can guard too. Like Alex Steen has a chance to be one of the better defenders in this conference. D2 guy, does a lot, really versatile in the front court. I'm so surprised. Like I genuinely don't understand where all of this disrespect for FSU has come from. I get that Luke Lapps is a new coach. I get that he's never been a head coach before, and I get the skepticism. But the talent on this roster shouldn't be the issue. I might be the high man on Martin Somerville. Like that's absolutely possible.
I'm right with you, Sam.
That's one of my favorite players that I watched all of last year. He's electric. Became the point guard for UMass Lowell. Shoots the crap out of it. Can get whatever he wants to be able to score. Won't be scoring that well in the ACC, but I think he'll still be a heck of a ball player. Alir Malouk. I don't know how I feel, but definitely just a guy that can block some shots. I don't think this team is like lacking talent. Some of the other teams in this league might be lacking talent. Florida State's not.
Yeah. Like, listen, we can talk about.
Just looking at Christian's face right now.
Christian, I know you have to leave soon, so I'll pull this up. I have Syracuse 12, Wake Forest 13. Like, please push back because I view these next three, Florida State, Syracuse, Wake, all as like relatively similar.
I have Florida State 10.
Honestly, I love the conviction. I apologize for my reaction.
No,
dude,
that's good. We like that.
If they finish last in the ACC and like way behind,
I'm not
Wake,
saying they're going to be last. I think they're going to be better than at the very least Cal, Boston College. Maybe Stanford. I like Kyle Smith a lot, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But like, I just don't. I don't know what's going on with that roster really.
Yeah.
But and I'm not even Wake biased. I'm like not a homer at all. Like Wake, I would be shocked if Wake is worse than Florida State. And Syracuse, the jury's out on Red Autry still for me, but like I like Syracuse's roster a lot.
Yeah,
do you want me to talk about them, or do you want to?
Yeah, no. Listen,
more FSU.
You went to Wake. You know this team better than we do. Like before you got to get out of here. Yeah, give us the lowdown.
You want to swap?
Shout out Rob McCray though, former Deke. I had this is a true story. I had movement for all dance class with Rob McCray. My senior year, second semester. I had to get my art credit, and I took movement for all dance class, and Rob McCray was in my class.
That sounds like a totally serious class.
Okay, so here's the deal. Last year's Wake team kept winning. They were like 7-1 the ACC or something at some point, and they were so bad. Like I couldn't stand. Like with all due respect, I'm so happy to be done watching Cameron Hill just play basketball. I understand he played really hard, and there were some good things he did, but like, oh my God, the offense was in Efton talented. But just sometimes I'm like, what are we doing? Tyler, what are we doing? Last year just hurt. And they competed their tails off defensively. And they won a lot of games. So shout out to the Forbes and the staff for them. I'm just excited to not be watching last year's team. And I'm tired of 5 straight years of bubble frenzy and stuff. It's nice to not be ass like they were with Danny Manning. But like I'm looking at this year and I don't have expectations to make the tournament because all that does is upset me in March. So here's what I'm going to say. There's a chance that this is the surprise team. The way that they were the surprise team with Alanis. There's a chance that things connect, and this is like a top 6 ACC team. Like Calmise, I didn't love him at Washington State, but like he's really quick. He's gonna work in this system. It's Juke Harris. There's like Moles and Winston-Salem are telling me that there's a chance Juke Harris is the best player on this team. Miles Colvin is coming from a winning program and like can shoot. Like you don't understand with Wake, there's never 8 good players. We've never had 8 good players. 8, 9 are always just like a nightmare. It always is a nightmare. And this year they actually have enough dudes. Makai Mason, I'm not gonna like go crazy about him or Sebastian Aikens. Like maybe they're not gonna be good. Maybe it's gonna blow up in my face, but like, and I don't even know if Schwieger's ready. Now I think Omaha could be really good if he's still holding out hope for Omaha. I believe in Omaha.
I've lost hope on that one.
So we'll see. There's, shit could hit the fan. Like this team could, maybe this team can't shoot at all, and Schwieger's not a high major player, and Juke doesn't take a step forward, and Aikens is just not ready for this level, and Makai Mason's nothing, and Omaha gets hurt, and it's a mess. Could that happen? Yes, but I think Forbes, while the criticism has been there for like not being able to get over the hump to the tournament, last year's team was not good, and he still got them to win a bunch of games and come in 5th in the league. And like, there's arguments that none of the last 3 teams were that good and that they've done a good job with them. It's just been really frustrating for the fan base because you're so close to like coming over. Is
this team better than those teams?
It's more. I think there's a chance that there's just more dudes that can play, and you're not losing games because it's like
I don't think this is like
some variance goes your way, and you never know.
Like, I don't think this is a particularly deep team. I love Spillers. Spillers is one of my favorite players.
It's not particularly deep, but what you need to understand is like last year, Parker Fredrickson was supposed to be good and was just like not good at all. And it's like Cameron Hill just has to play 38 minutes a game. And it's just like, oh, you literally can't play another 5-man. When when Efton Reed comes out of the game, it's just a nightmare. And I wasn't even an Efton guy, but it's just like when you take him out, it's just tough. Like I really like the way Spillers and Juke, they're like just dogs, and like Omaha could be a dog. Like I'm just giving a little bit of benefit of the doubt to the staff, but I'm not like super excited about the season. Cam Hill's just gone. I'm sorry. I respect him for what he's done, but I just do not want to watch him play basketball.
Christian, did you say anything about Cooper Schwieger? I might have.
I think he's skilled. I see the upside, but I've just heard a few things about him just kind of struggling to get used to just the physicality.
I don't know.
I've watched him. I've watched him for 2 years. I definitely think there's going to be an adjustment period for him. Yeah. No doubt that he's skilled though. Just he's not going to play a ton of D. But
y'all know Zach Keller was on Utah last year, or I think maybe that was 2 years ago. He was at Wake in Utah. He was a backup 5-man. anyway, Zach Keller would come in and just like give us something for 10 minutes. And it's just not good at all. And I think Schwieger can be in that mold of a stretch 5 that can like maybe hit some of the threes, not just be in theory stretch 5. And like, I don't know. I don't think he's going to start though.
Anything about Jalen Cross at all?
I think Isaac Carr is going to get some minutes as a backup guard. I haven't heard that Jalen Cross
that's kind of what I thought. I haven't gotten around to watching Carr yet, but I have watched Cross, so I figured I'd ask.
Do you like Cross?
I think he's okay. I did not a guy I expect to like make an impact right away, but don't hate him.
But yeah, it would be cool if Juke Harris is like the best player on this team.
The kids that come out of North Carolina that end up playing at like a high major level there's just something about them, like the way they carry themselves. Like they don't take shit from anyone. Like you could see it when you watch like Isaiah Evans, and I think Cross is a little bit of the same way.
All right, you want to move on?
Yeah, Chris, did you have to head out of here?
Yeah. Can I just drop thoughts on Syracuse and then just say a couple other things?
Let's do it.
It's been a blast to have you guys. It's been a crazy week at work. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Saw anything. But Syracuse, I think this roster is really fun. I think Nathan George and JJ Starling is a really fun backcourt. I don't know if JJ Starling's jumper is just kind of broken. He was encouraged to take him last year. He kind of had to. Like they were just a mess defensively with Lampkin. Like I just think William Kyle with a chip on his shoulder like didn't get the minutes last year at UCLA. He thought he was gonna get. He was like prized as the best defender in the portal last year. People kind of forgot about him. You bring back Donnie Freeman, who only got a taste. I like Nate Kings a lot. Late bloomer. Can shoot the lights off. He had some crazy story. He like bounced around foster homes. He changed his last name to Kings because it sounds cool, because he's trying to start his own thing. Like there's just something about him. Like I'm just kind of a believer in his stories and underdog. Tyler Betsy.
That's true, by the way.
What's up?
That's true, by the way, Jonathan.
Dude, I'm laughing because it's awesome.
He just was like, I forget his old last name, but he's just like, I'm changing it to Kings. It's like a Meta World Peace.
I need to look this
Robbie
up
Anderson situation. But Tyler Betsy, I thought at Cincinnati last year, like I see the vision with him. Like he was a top recruit last year. And then you bring in Kyan Anthony, who can score. I don't know what else he's gonna do, and then Sadiq White I think is interesting. He's a mystery box. And Fennell from Australia is interesting. I know I just keep saying people are interesting, but like I think that there's a chance that this is a really good defensive team.
It's a good way to describe anyone who plays for Adrian Autry at this point.
Like, okay.
And pressure's on him more than any coach in the conference.
Have a good year.
And they took the money out and said, last year I didn't have the players. Now you have the players. Go be a top 8 team in the ACC and potentially make the tournament. Syracuse loves to be a bubble team. It's right.
By the way, Nate King's last name was Maitoff.
Yeah, I would change my last name to Kings too.
That's honestly a great last name.
Kings with a Z.
Like changing your last name from Maitoff to Kings, like he instantly became a better shooter. Like
he was a good shooter.
Nah, it's crazy aura farming.
Yeah, I respect it.
Thank you so much, Christian. Now I'm going to talk about Syracuse.
Wait, can I just? Is there any thought I have on any team that I haven't gotten?
Georgia Tech, Pitt, Stanford, Cal, BC are the teams that we haven't talked about.
Pitt is probably going to be bad, but if
Pitt might be like
Omari Witherspoon and Barry Dunning and Brandon Cummings, I know Deshaun Jackson's hurt, so they're probably going to be bad.
I hope DeMarco Minor likes playing in ball screens.
Wait, quickly, Jaden Hastings, Boston College. Is anyone else kind of like this guy?
I'm glad that you mentioned Hastings because I've had about enough of Donald Hand over the last couple days.
This isn't awful. Like
I kind of like.
I sure as hell don't think Bowden Kapke's good.
Yeah, it'll be. I think the ACC has to be better, but then sometimes I start to go through, and I'm like, there's a chance it could be 5 teams in the tournament again. But maybe it's 8. It would be cool if it was 8. Could be 5. So we'll see. You guys are the best. You guys are a wealth of knowledge. I love how much you love the game. It makes me happy. Thank you for welcoming me into your world.
Thank you so much for coming on. We'll for sure have you back again later this season.
Can't wait. Talk soon.
Yep. All right,
yeah,
Sam.
So we have
Sam, any thoughts on Syracuse?
Actually, this time I do. Today was media day. I'm not going to talk about any of the stuff I talked about today with the guys.
Yeah.
Not really worth it.
Reasonable.
It's a lot of like talking points type stuff. But this backcourt gives me the little bit of the my turn, your turn concerns. Because George looks to pass when he gets into the pick and roll. Possessions kind of turn into his possessions. JJ looks to score, then kind of passes when he needs to. JJ got votes for ACC preseason player of the year. If Syracuse is good, Donnie Freeman's the team's best player, like pretty clearly. Donnie is like
I agree with that.
Like, I know he's listed 6'9". I think he's 6'10". Attacks mismatches, can shoot it a little. Has a face-up game, has a back-down game. Versatile offensive player. Still a little thin, but definitely good rebounder for that as well. Got to be better defensively. Got to be better. But like, there's a chance he averages like 15 and 8 and does it efficiently. Kyle is the big key for me because last year I like the way that Christian said I'm so glad I don't have to watch Cam Hildreth. I'm like 100 times happier that I don't have to watch Eddie Lampkin. I don't know if there's a player that was like more frustrating to watch in all of college basketball than Eddie Lampkin. I think he led the country in Angel Reese rebounds. It was bad like that, and it was also bad in the sense that you could not that Syracuse was confined to playing one type of pick and roll coverage. They literally didn't have a pick and roll coverage that they could play. You tried to drop him, nothing's happening. You try and edge him, nothing's happening. You try and switch, you try and play at the level, you try whatever you try and do. He can't do it. William Kyle, at least can do that. Played a lot of deep drop at South Dakota State. That helped in the league where he was the most athletic and he could just jump over dudes. That's what he told me today. I could just jump over dudes in that league. But he can hedge. I think he hedges and recovers well. I do think that the ball screen defense is going to improve. I asked the same question twice to him about that. That's how much I feel about it. I like Kings. I'm just a little concerned about spacing if you go to lineups where it's hey, because your two guards aren't great shooters. And if you want to get Sadiq White on the floor with Freeman and Kyle, none of those guys are shooters. You might need to play Freeman at the 5. How's that going to be defensively? Still really only have one shooter in Kings. They kind of need Cayenne to hit shots. Really need Betsy to hit shots. I think Suare could be a good change of pace big. He'll catch lobs. I think this team's going to throw a bunch of lobs. I think there's 3 lob catchers on this team.
Yeah, you tweeted it today, but they definitely made a point over the offseason to go out and get more athletic. And William Kyle and Sadiq White are certainly athletes.
But I think that the main I beat around the bush. Red Autry has proven nothing. The last year.
I'm sorry, you're right. It's just
to put it as bluntly as possible.
Cool to hear you come out and say it on the pod.
Absolutely nothing. And we have he seemed a lot more measured today. Wasn't as outwardly confident. Definitely had confidence, but seemed a lot more measured in what he was saying today.
Okay.
Definitely think he's kind of learning as he goes. Kind of learned what wouldn't work his first year. Also learned more what wouldn't work last year. Wonder if this is the same. I hope that it's not. I hope that they figure it out. I have belief in some of the pieces. I'm a little skeptical about some of the others. I'm obviously skeptical of a coach who hasn't proven anything. But the thing about Red is I was listening to 3-Man Weave and they did their coach rankings. Was dead last for all of them, and I'm Well, there's nothing that I can say right now that would like I don't have any
There's no definitive proof.
like I don't have any reason to deny that right now. Like dead last in the ACC for a coach. Like it's been like the transition defense last year was brutal. I think he's identified the right things to improve. It's now just about actually improving them. Because like we can talk about it, they still have to do it.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. Like this is gonna go one of two ways. You know, they're gonna surprise most and overachieve and make the NCAA tournament with a talented roster, or Red Autry will be either looking for a new job next year or arguing with you about the MAC. well, one of two ways, guys. So, yeah, we talked about Wake. Let's go Georgia Tech here. This is where we really get into the bottom of the barrel, where, like, this ACC we think will be better. We can see upside.
The bottom is still bad.
We could see upside for a lot of these teams. There could still be multiple teams that finish, like, around 200 in Ken Pom here. I don't know if Georgia Tech will be one of those teams, but
Jonathan, can you tell me who's going to lead this team in scoring?
Lamar Washington?
That's not good.
Jaden Mustafa?
Not good.
So Baya Ndongo is like still a good player, even though we're probably past the point of him being like an NBA guy. Right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Did they take Washington like really late?
Later.
Okay. Not like June, but like later in the cycle.
Yeah, like mid-May.
So, maybe they get a breakout from Mustafa. Kwesi Reeves has been in college basketball since like I was a freaking freshman in high school, it feels like. Yeah, like I think there's some upside with this front court, assuming Mohamed Silla ends up being a real person. I have found what I would call very limited highlights of him. If somebody else has highlights or film of him that I can watch, send it my way, because I don't feel comfortable ranking him in my freshman rankings, despite him being like the 17th ranked player on 24/7. Peyton Marshall, I think there's some actual like offensive skill there.
Large individual,
very large individual, and he's slimmed down since his senior.
One of the largest.
Cam Kraft can score, but like will not guard anyone.
Kraft might be the leading scorer for this team.
Maybe, but like he won't guard. Like however many points he scores, he'll give up double.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, like they might need to bleed that out with Ndongo and Silla being their bigs, though. Like they might be able to like semi-afford that.
Yeah,
I don't really have much more to say about this.
Let's not spend too much time.
It's just not gone well for Damon.
No. Could this be his last year?
He probably gets one more.
Okay. 15, Pitt.
Yeah, another team that I just have very little interest in talking about.
Like I said earlier,
interesting you mentioned with Polo Minor and ball screens. Oregon State was not setting a lot of ball screens last year. They were a very heavy post-up team. I do think Corin is going to be used in post-ups. Dunning, I actually think is like a really nice piece.
Jackson was a big transfer addition for them, but
I was excited about
redshirting.
Jackson and Intrasite is coming from winning programs. Like,
listen, we're at the point in the show where we want to give actual analysis about these teams, but there's like not a lot of positive things to say. If we're wrong about some of these bottom teams, like great, like right, they proved us wrong.
That's awesome. I want the ACC to be good. I hate those ACC people that are so annoying about the ACC being good when it's not. I don't want to deal with them. Just let the ACC be good, so I don't have to hear people say the ACC is good when it's not.
Cable's got a good class coming in next year. If they choose to
today.
If they choose to keep him for that, that's something to look forward to. I'm gonna shoot for the moon here, Sam, because I liked the player in high school, and I like there were flashes last year still. I think I'll just say it. Papa Conte ends up being this team's best player.
Oh, gross. That's gross.
I'm taking a shot here.
It's Polo Minor.
I picked them to finish 15th in the ACC. I'm taking a shot here.
It's Minor or Dunning.
Most likely. Yeah, I haven't heard super great things about Roman Sulepa.
No, just not in.
From our friendly neighborhood PDT. Yeah, I did ask him about.
Are we gonna call him that? Is that his new name?
Well, dude, like I've been like adjusting to calling him Armon because like we called him PDT for so long, but I feel like you and him have talked enough that you just like started calling him by his actual name, and also he doesn't go by PDT on Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Let's move to 16 here. Our guy Kyle Smith at Stanford. This roster just leaves a lot to be desired, despite what we think of Kyle Smith. Like,
I don't know what like this roster is. I think Jeremy Dent Smith can ball. Like best
there
player.
Listen, like there are a lot of names here that I do not recognize, and like if they end up being good, I will be very, very surprised and will be telling people that Kyle Smith should get the UNC job.
Okay, double barreled there. Okay, but for Jeremy Dent Smith, like best player on a D2 team that made the national championship game, got to watch a little bit of the national championship.
What team was that? Was that the California team? Dominguez?
Yeah. Got to watch a little bit of him in that national championship game. He was awesome. He had like 27 points. 9 for 16 from the field. He's small, but like he can really score. Was like the number is 64% on like mid-range pull-up twos. Like not a super high volume, but kind of gets where he wants to go. Can at his size can get to the rim. Not awesome at the rim, but can shoot. Can really pass. I think he's what they need. But he's their best player, and like that's a little concerning. Like
they play
there's a little bit of like I think there's a little bit of use for Agarwal, maybe Okpara. I liked at Harvard, but kind of still there.
We talked a lot about him in the
international kids, Skrinda and Gilte. I don't know how I feel about either of them. I watched a little bit of Rahosi at Claremont and Mudscripts, the D3 school. Last year when I was kind of building my D3 bracket. This is a sicko.
Hold on. Say the name of the school again.
Claremont Mudscripts.
Okay, let's proceed.
Like this, he played for what's his name at he played for Kyle Smith at Washington State. I think he's a good D3 player. I thought he would be a really good fit at like a West Coast mid-major, but kind of Stanford kind of has like one of those high-level West Coast mid-major rosters. So maybe this is the fit. I get that it's so hard to take.
I appreciate you diving into this team, like because there are a lot of names on here that even someone who, like myself, considers them.
They got a really good 26 class.
I consider myself in the 99th percentile of of people that watch college basketball. Not like in terms of just like the amount of games that I watch. I would not have been able to give you a great Stanford analysis.
I didn't give you a great Stanford analysis either. Like I just said a couple names.
What are they in KenPom to start the season?
Good question.
89.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, I didn't have them in my top 100. Like, Kyle Smith overachieves and finishes in, like, the top 75. Like, you won't find me surprised.
They'll take a step back from last year.
you won't find me surprised. There's no Maxine.
They'll take a step back from last year, but they're also, like, the sport is worse than it was last year.
There's no Maxine Raynaud on this team. There's not even a Jalen Blakes on this team. And we're talking about pre-Christmas break, Jalen Blakes.
All right, 17.
Okay, let's go to Cal here. So Cal, I think, is like
Definitely more name brand.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. There are more names on here that that the casual college basketball fan would recognize.
And I actually do.
But at the same time, like I don't think that's a good thing. Like
I think there's a pitch for this team.
How is Day-Day Ames still a high major?
I still think he's talented.
I feel like he's Chicago kid.
That's just
small guard.
Like Virginia never was a good fit for him.
Okay, real quick. He was listed at 6'2". He's listed at 6'2" on the Burner Ball depth charts. There's no way he's 6'2". Right? He was like 5'10" in high school.
Yeah, like Day-Day is skilled. He's talented. He's quick. Virginia was like the worst possible fit for him. And I think he'll get a lot more freedom with Cal.
If Mads, I think
Camden, Bell, Dorsey, and Petritus is a solid wing court.
I don't mind Petritus at all,
and I like Dorsey a lot.
So I have
Camden can really shoot.
I have a vision here where this team peaks because they play Justin Pippen at point and they move Day-Day Ames off the ball.
I like it.
So
I also like kind of think like Lee Dort and Illich, like you could do worse. It's just that like there's nothing to like there's no proof of concept for Madsen at Cal right now. That's kind of like I kind of think this like there's a pitch here. The floor is like really low.
What did they finish in KenPom last year?
What did Cal finish in KenPom?
Because like I can't see this team
110.
Okay, this team isn't more talented than they were last year.
They've finished 25 spots above preseason expectation in each of Madison's first 2 years.
I see no reason to fire him at this stage.
No, I don't either. Like,
especially for an athletic program that is like
they're not going to do better.
Supposedly, like completely broke. Like this is just the climate right now. It's a really bad situation for him. He took a job coming off a good year at Utah Valley at a high major. I'm sure he's getting paid well, but there's not a lot of paths to success at a school like Cal. They won three less ACC games last year than they did in his first year, but they finished 11 spots higher in KenPom.
Yeah.
Like if they jump, like KenPom has them at 87th. If they jump from 110 to 87th, I think that's a very successful season for them.
Yeah.
So, you lose. You lose Wilkinson to Georgia. You lose Stojakovic to.
Do you have any thoughts on Dimitri Carr? I feel like I've heard you talk about him.
No, not. I don't think so. Not. Maybe I watched him like once. I don't have any notes on him though.
I feel like I've heard you mention his name.
Where did he go to high school? Let's see. Archbishop Riordan. Probably a school I've watched before, but not I don't have any notes on him, so don't want to give you any misguided thoughts there.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Let's move to 18. The Fighting Donald Hands of Boston.
Look, Donald Hand is a good player. How is he getting ACC Player of the Year votes?
For those of you that are confused, first of all, if you're an hour 34 into this and have listened to us talk about Georgia Tech, Pitt, Stanford, and Cal, like bravo, man.
You're also not going to be confused about us talking about BC. If you've made it this far,
the reason that we are calling them,
hold on, if you've made it this far in the podcast, DM one of us the word hand in all caps. Or send it on Twitter, text, Snap, wherever you want.
Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers accounts.
Tag Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers on Twitter and tweet the word hand in all caps.
Anyway, the reason we've been making Donald Hand jokes multiple times, and the reason I just called them the Fighting Donald Hands, is because Donald Hand got an ACC Player of the Year vote yesterday. Not sure why we're predicting a guy who is
this team's bad, man. This team's really
bad as BC to win ACC Player of the Year. Like Donald Hand could be a 23 points per game scorer. If
Chase Forte as like
BC's
your
bad,
big
he's not winning ACC Player of the Year.
Chase Forte as like your big transfer ad. Like, yeah, he can score a little, but Defensive Player of the Year in the Summit League is a participation trophy.
So
that league plays no defense. Bowden Cap.
That's a good line that I hope you use forever. By the way,
look, I said it about William Kyle at times as well. Like, but William Kyle is like actually has the bones to be like a good high major defender. Chase Forte, maybe he'll get some steals.
So you bring back
like if this team is going to be good, or like not even good, but like semi decent. Like I think Jason Asamoah has to be really good.
Where did Fred Payne was with them last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Luka Taze was one of the worst high major players in the country last year.
Genuinely, like should be playing in the NEC.
Aiden Shaw is like plays some defense, really won't do much offensively for you. I watched way too much of him at Mizzou. When Dennis Gates got the when Dennis Gates got the job at Mizzou, Aiden Shaw was an incoming freshman. He decommitted and then had to recommitted to Mizzou. Dennis convinced him to stay around. After his sophomore year, I believe, because he's a senior now. After his sophomore year, he was bad to the point where like I thought he was going to transfer to like Missouri State because he committed to Conzo originally, and here we are 2 years later, and he's still at a high major. Jason Asamoah comes over from Baylor.
He has to be like really good for them.
Like I wasn't a fan.
He has to average like 12, 13 points a game.
What do we think of Bowden Kapke?
He's not good.
Did we have hope for him at Butler last year?
Did we?
I know no, because we had so many questions about that front court. We liked the wings on that team.
Who didn't? It was like Pierre Brooks and Jameel Telfort
and Bizjack.
Yeah, like who didn't like those wings?
I'm just like walking myself through this. I don't really have thoughts.
Like this to me is clearly the worst team in this conference.
So Sam, every time I haven't done international recruiting rankings at all. Just haven't had the time or put in the effort to find the film yet. I rank every player that's committed to a high major. Like, regardless of if they're going to make my top 100, they go in my rankings. Guess where Jack Bailey? I have 101 players listed right now. Guess where Jack
99
Bailey is?
Is Jack Bailey 99?
Out of 101,
yeah,
he's one spot lower than you said.
100. Who's 101?
You know the answer. I don't have to say. I don't have to keep talking about him. So yeah, that's my only real thoughts. Jack Bailey's a Blair Academy kid. A lot of blind trust with that program, but not a fan. Anything else, Sam?
I'm good.
Should we move on to some awards?
Please. I'm so done talking about these teams at the bottom.
All right, player of the year.
Gambuser.
That means that I picked two freshmen to win player of the year in high major conferences. Boozer and Peterson. Let's go to we know freshman of the year, defensive player of the year.
Malik Brown.
I like it.
Give me either Malik Brown or Trayvon Spillers.
Ooh, that's a good shot as well. I'll mess around a little here, and I'll say that the defensive player of the year in the ACC, I'll go True Washington.
Ooh, I like it. I really do.
What about what other awards am I missing?
I mean, technically freshman of the year.
But it's Cam Boozer.
It's Cam Boozer with a shout out to the Greek Freak.
Freshman of the year runner-up,
Greek Freak.
Neoklis Avdalis.
I think there's a chance that the Greek Freak is second for Player of the Year.
I'm changing my defensive player of the year answer. I put the team fourth. I got to stay by it. I'm going Dylan Hunter.
Okay, I like it.
So shout out Drew Washington though.
All right, Jonathan.
ACC Jag of the year.
Oh God. Koasi Reeves.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
It has to be. It has to be.
Okay. Any other thoughts? I really hope the ACC improves this year significantly. I grew up watching a lot of ACC basketball. The conference was great back then. We need to get it back to form. And I think that
I said some mean things
with
about
Kelsey coming in at Louisville, with Jay Lucas at Miami, Will Wade at NC State, Ryan Odom at Virginia. I think this is headed in the right
direction.
direction.
Money at Virginia Tech as well.
With Young?
Well, there's money.
Yeah, they do have a lot of new money. So, maybe they get it right. UNC possibly getting a new coach next year. We'll see on that.
Got 14 million reasons.
Yeah. Sam, you want to take us home?
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about Donald Hand, you came to the right place. And if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This is season 6, episode 42 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bench Stealers, our ACC preview. Thank you so much for having us do another. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we will see you next time.